Today we are going to be talking about 5 different zombies games: Valor Zombies, Reminiscent Zombies, Operation Coyote, Michael Zombies, and Corrupt Zombies. First up is Valor Zombies. To kick things off, let's start with the menu. The menu doesn't even really look that great. It kind of just looks AI generated, but that's in my opinion. Some other people might find it good, but I personally don't. So let's start the game, right? So I join in on wave 9, and at first glance, you can already tell that this game pretty much has the same issues as Project Lazarus. You join at a very late match, and that is not a good thing. I also had to turn up my sensitivity, as there is no way to turn up your sensitivity in the options menu, and even with it all turned all the way up, it still doesn't feel very good. So whenever you're down to the last 3 zombies, there will be this red highlight that comes over them, so you can run towards them and find them. Personally, I have no issue with this, but why can't it be the last 6 or 7 zombies? Why does it have to be the last 3? This game seriously suffers from this issue mostly because of the fact that there's a ton of zombies on the first round, and it makes you feel like you're searching for them instead of finding you, if you know what I mean. The biggest issue in this game, I think, needs to be talked about is the knife. You have to press the melee button to bring it out, and that's right, bring it out. Your character doesn't just swing and then put it away and take their gun back out. You have to physically take it out and start swinging. And for some reason, it's still a 2-shot knife on round 10. That's a big issue if you've ever played Call of Duty Zombies. On round 10, it usually takes 10 knives to take down one zombie. So my next issue is the health regeneration system, as it is so slow to regenerate that it makes me feel like I'm playing Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and I feel like it shouldn't even be this long. The next issue is the fact that it takes super long to bleed out. I am not even joking whenever I say this, but I could probably time it, and it probably took at least 30 seconds total. Okay, so let's say that you kind of just started, right? And this is a new match, and there's nothing wrong. You're looking for perks, you're looking for the mystery box, you're looking for wall buys, and they've got wall buys. Okay, good on them for that. But the hitboxes kind of feel off. There's no perks to be found anywhere, and the starting area doesn't even have a buy so you can get out of the spawn area. And I've never seen another game kind of do this. You kind of just walk into the compound without having to pay for anything to get out of the way. My next issue is the guns that you'll sometimes get out of the box and their aiming properties. So I get the MG42 out of this box, and believe me, I'm aware that this game is a beta, but it doesn't excuse most of the things that are going on with this game. So I pull out the MG42 out of the box, and these zombies come up behind me, and I aim like I'm Doom Guy. Now I hate when games do this because it makes me feel like I'm playing Half-Life or Doom. I'm not trying to dunk on either of the games, it's just that it's not my favorite way of aiming, you know? And I'm pretty sure it's not anybody else's either. Something that really bothers me is the fact that it took me an entire 4 minutes to make it to round 2. That's like a huge issue. It's because the compound is super large, and sometimes I've seen the zombies get stuck. It's not in this recording, but I've had a few instances where they would sometimes get stuck on things, and we'd have to go get them ourselves. And it's a bit of an issue, but also another thing is the hitboxes. They kind of feel off, and I've had some times where it looks like I was supposed to hit a headshot, but it didn't register as one, and it kind of gets on my nerves. But aside from that, I think we're done with this game, as there really isn't much else I can talk about. I mean, there's no settings menu, you can't edit your FOV, you can't edit the camera sensitivity, there's no pack-a-punch, there's nothing at all here to really talk about. It doesn't really have any charm, it kind of just feels like an empty game. Next up, we have Reminiscent Zombies. The first thing I like about this game is the fact that your character will either walk through the left or the right door or the teleporter, and it's kind of nice. It's nice to know that this person actually took the time for that. Some other people would kind of just, oh, well, here's your character and here's a background, I guess. A nice thing about this is that you can actually select maps, and I like this. I like the ability to select maps, and it gives you more maps than Call of Duty normally would, which is a plus up for me. But the thing is that it has some maps that I've never heard about that are probably fan-made, and honestly I wouldn't doubt if they are, but for this one I kind of just picked Transit, as it kind of defines the whole reason why this one isn't really that good. My first gripe is the fact that you can select a difficulty. I know that the original Call of Duties that had zombies had this. You could pick between original or easy, but for this video, I'm going to be going with all of the default difficulties that they give me. So we're going with original. Now, the second good thing kind of comes with the fact that it kind of does the same thing that Call of Duty does, and it kind of does that pistol cocking sound, and honestly, it's enough to give somebody nostalgia. It sure as hell gave me some, but that's where all the good things end. Alright, so my first gripe that I kind of have with it is that it has to show you the difficulty whenever you start the match. It always shows you, and whenever you complete a round, it always shows you what difficulty, as if to rub in your face. Hey, this is what difficulty you're on. If you're on easy, I suggest you moving it up a bit. Well, I'm on original, so it doesn't really matter. So whenever you kind of make the items, as you can already tell, the zombies are already out, and that's not exactly a good thing. If you've ever actually played Transit, you would actually realize how long it actually takes them to get out of the boards before they come to get you. My next issue is that to select something in your inventory if you're playing on console is that you use the shoulder buttons. I do not like this. I do not like having to use the bumper to select items. It's usually the triangle button to switch between weapons, but no, it's the bumpers. It's R1 and L1, and it is the most stupidest weapon switching mechanic. As a matter of fact, whenever I first booted up this game, I pressed triangle thinking that I was going to switch weapons, and I immediately went down because the bomb exploded right beneath my feet and killed me. That's not fun. My next issue is the fact that the bus kind of just goes like you don't even really have time to get on the bus as it goes to leave. It kind of just does this little thing where it goes by like ticks. It kind of goes one tick, then another tick, then another tick, but it does it in such a way that it goes super fast and the zombies can't catch up with you. So if you want to shoot zombies behind you, you can't do that. And if you want to get the M16 off the wall, well, you kind of can't because the bus is pretty much going to leave you behind before you can go over there to get it. I also do like the fact that you can't run on the bus, which is kind of like what you couldn't do that in the original either, but I'm just saying it's a small thing compared to the rest of the issues that go on with this game. The next issue comes with the mystery box. You cannot see the mystery box if you look up in the sky. I think it's so stupid. Also, I feel like, I don't even think I have to mention this one, but there is little to no recoil in this game. It feels like I'm playing in a movie where I can just hold a gun in front of me and it'll just shoot for me. That's what it feels like. To perfectly capture what the bus looks like running away from you, I stood on the side and just watched it drive off. Another issue I have with the game is the fact that it'll have this really annoying beeping sound whenever you take damage. Now, thanks to the game having option settings, I've already turned this off, and I don't have to worry about it. And if you really want to play this god-awful version, then I recommend that you go ahead and go into the settings and turn it off as well. It sounds like the Pokemon low health sound, and it is so annoying. Next up, we have Operation Coyote. The first good thing about it is the fact that it has this nice little startup animation. I've not really seen other Roblox zombies games do this. I mean, unless you count Michael's Zombies, but even then it's just like shooting a logo. So, unlike every game, I'm going to be going into this game with multiple different players. I want you to first note the fact that there is no spectate. You cannot spectate anybody in the game. I mean, you can, but it's so vague to the point where honestly, you might not even worry about it because you have to first press D-pad to open up the menu and then you can spectate. But honestly, if I didn't tell you that, you probably would have never known and you'd be staring at this blue and pink spray paint that's going around the screen. So for starters, when you actually do get into the match, it actually has some great animations with the pistols and the guns and everything. Now, honestly, I honestly got to give the weapon animations a 10 out of 10. It's absolutely awesome. The animation team did a great job. But that's pretty much where I'd say all the good stuff ends there, because here comes the issues. For starters, the furries have a 1,000,000 yard reach and a 20-yard stare. I'm telling you, whenever you play this game, you gotta basically be on your toes at all times. Like, you have to be super hyperactive, you have to know what you're doing, and you also have to hope that the guns work, because I played this game and sometimes the guns would not shoot. They just weren't responsive, and I had it happen with Uzis, I've had it happen with the ray gun, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand that this game is straight up in development, but man, at least release the game finished, you know? My next issue is the perks, the box, the tables that you build stuff on, and the guns on the wall, etc. It doesn't really matter. They all have the same issue. If I kind of have to do the stanky leg to be able to do what I want. It's like sometimes I'll be staring at it, and like I'll be clearly like looking at it and stuff, and like right here, as you can clearly see, I'm trying to get the perk, and it won't let me, and I end up having to do this stupid little dance in order to get Juggernaut. It's absolutely stupid. Dancing shenanigans and jokes aside, the Hellhounds are the next issue on the list that I have. They spawn at way too fast of a rate, and they're kind of a little bit faster than normal Hellhounds. And as you can clearly see, we got overwhelmed, me and my partner here, and I I ended up dying because I wasn't able to reload fast enough. So there's like 4 or 3 here. Now, if you don't know what Call of Duty actually does, they'll spawn a few hellhounds here and there, and they'll have it set to a specific person. Instead, this game has different pathfinding. They go to the nearest person. So instead of going for a select person and then like moving on, they'll go for whoever's the closest. So you're bound to get overwhelmed in seconds. So my last 3 issues kind of boiled down to the fact that the guns sometimes have way too much recoil. And as you can see right here, I'm about to pull out an M27. I'm about to shoot the zombie furry that's coming after me, and it ends up having way too much recoil, and I go over. The second issue is that the map is kind of like this big, crunched up hallway, if you know what I mean. It's not like this open area type thing. It just feels like a giant hallway, if you know what I mean. And then the last complaint, and honestly the least complaint, because it really doesn't matter the most out of all of them, is the fact that you have to build both the power and the pack-a-punch. Now, normally I wouldn't have an issue with this, but since I don't really like doing that in most of the Call of Duty games, and I didn't really like doing it in Transit earlier, I just feel like it's kind of annoying to have to do it every time, you know? Next up, we have Michael's Zombies, and I have a lot to say about this one because I've played this one in the past. For starters, I do want to say that I'm going to be playing by myself, and I will be going down a lot. I will have to show you multiple different footages of gameplay for you to be able to understand what's kind of going on and actually be able to see my complaints. So let's get on to the first issue, and I think it's the most apparent if you've ever played the Undead Nocturne. The Undead Nocturne is literally just a knockoff of Nocturne Untoten if you haven't already noticed. My second issue is the fact that you have to build the power again, and as I told you before, I kind of get over it after multiple playthroughs. And my third issue in this entire chain is the fact that you can grab the box through the wall. And I'm pretty sure I probably have footage of that somewhere. I'll put it right here. My next issue is that the pack-a-punch is kind of out of the way, if you know what I mean. Like, you kind of have to have a ray gun, and you kind of have to know where it is. If you did not know that you could blow up the wall with the ray gun, and the fact that the pack-a-punch was out in the distance, you would never end up getting the pack-a-punch, and you'd just be left thinking that this map doesn't have it. My next complaint is the fact that some of the parts for the machine would just not spawn. So instead of me being able to actually turn on the power, I was left confused and dazed as to wondering where the first piece for the power was. So I gotta give these guys credit for the weapon animations. Definitely not better than Operation Coyotes, but somewhat good enough to be somewhat slightly below it. Alright, so my next issue is the fact that there's a mini-boss in this map. Now let me ask you this question. What do you get when you mix a mini-boss and a small map together? You get absolute freaking chaos. That's what you get, because there really isn't enough room to run. I mean, I've actually seen the boss a few times, but you know what's funny is that since the boss has stupid AI and pathfinding, but then again, most of the AI in this game has stupid AI and pathfinding, they'll usually get stuck on doors like this right here, and it's kind of stupid. It's just like, I mean, it's supposed to be a threatening boss, and in the end, it just ends up being a boss that still can somehow clap you. I even tried the glitch that used to be well known, and it no longer works. So my next issue is the fact about the knife. It doesn't have the same punch that it does in actual Call of Duty Zombies. Like whenever some guy like runs up to a zombie and like shanks him, like you know like what I mean, and it makes that really weird heartbeat sound. It just doesn't have the same punch. My next thing that I kind of liked about the game is that they made their own jingles for, you know, like the perks. I mean, it's the same type of jingle, but it's like, instead of having the lyrics, they kind of like made it in like some type of MIDI player, and I really love it. I'm all here for it. My final complaint about the game is the fact that it has the same issue with the aimbot. I'm not even touching the stick at times, and it'll just aim for me, you know? I could, like, hold my rifle down, like, one way and wait for a zombie to come in, right? But see, since the auto-aim is turned on, it immediately goes for a body shot instead of a headshot, and it's super annoying. Overall, Michael Zombies is kind of good. If you are interested, I recommend that you give it a try. Last but not least, we have Corrupt Zombies, and personally, I think this one's going to blow all of the other previous games out of the water. For starters, you can customize your weapons like this is Cold War, and I think that's kind of nice. However, getting the attachments for the gun takes a serious amount of grinding, and by the time you probably have the attachments, you'll probably be level 200. So there's four different maps: five, Nocturne, Totem, Undead Tower, and Town. Personally, my favorite being Town. The next thing that is nice is the fact that you can edit gameplay modifiers, such as giving yourself points starting on a higher round, or so as keeping the power on. I hate to say this, but unfortunately, like Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies, you're gonna find yourself waiting a very long time for someone to join you. It's kind of ridiculous. There isn't really much you can do about it. There's lots of people playing. There's over 500 people. But still, I mean, even then, it just feels like nobody joins you. It's not like Call of Duty where you simply just, join a match and then ready up. No, you have to either create a lobby, you can do quick play, which is if you really want the true Call of Duty experience, you'll go with quick play and then select the map. If you want to join a person's lobby, if you want to join a friend, you first have to go into the lobbies and then you have to find your friend's name. If they're already in a game, you have to go to the server list and then you have to turn on friends and only, and then you have to search for their name. And it's kind of like a bit of a process, but that's a bit okay with me, I guess. So, where do I start? The game looks awfully good. It looks like Call of Duty Cold War, and that's clearly what they were going for because of the health bar, the weapon tiers, the fact that you can create shields, you can make bombs, and you can upgrade your tier of weapon. It's absolutely awesome. But another complaint comes up right about here. It's the fact that whenever you step over a lava crack, it'll sometimes delay. Sure, Black Ops 2 had this issue, but that was due to latency issues. My next issue comes with the fact that the characters just talk way too much. In Black Ops 3 and 2, they had these simple voice lines, but here,
Well, bless my boots and call me cowpoke. Would you look at that? Spit me out a hidden treasure.
I seriously apologize for the bad audio and the echoing. It was because my mic sensitivity was set all the way up. Like, it could hear almost everything, and my headset was turned all the way up. So here's when another complaint of mine comes into question. It's because the game is poorly optimized. I'm pretty sure you've been in a poorly optimized Roblox game before. Maybe you've been on Oculus and you've played Opposer VR. Let's say you did that. The game will have random slowdown at times, and it's not even funny. It's like a large amount of slowdown that can sometimes affect gameplay, and it's absolutely just infuriating. I've sometimes went down to it, and it's absolutely sad. My next issue that this game has is that I checked all throughout the settings, and there is no option for toggle sprint. If you do not know what toggle sprint is, it's kind of where you press the run button and they start running. Like they'll keep on running for a certain period of time until their hidden stamina bar runs out. And that's the thing I hate about it. There's no toggle sprint. So you have to turn on auto run. And the thing about auto run is that whenever you move forward, it runs for you. So whenever you're trying to reload, it'll cancel the reload animation. And that's the thing I hate about this game. See, that brings me to my next issue, the reload animations. I'm not trying to say that the animation is bad. I'm just trying to say that the way that the coding is handled is bad. It's because whenever I go to run, it immediately cancels the weapon animation, and this clearly appears to be a Black Ops 6 or Cold War inspired game because it's got that feeling going on with it. The only difference is that it doesn't use gobblegums, and thank God it doesn't use AI. But I've had multiple times on numerous occasions where I had to quickly reload and I just simply couldn't do it while running forward and I ended up dying. It's just, how am I supposed to play the game if we're going to do stuff like that, guys? If you do end up playing long like I have, you can upgrade perks, and this allows you to reload while you're running. Now, I feel like this is a dumb kind of upgrade to a perk, if you know what I mean. I don't even feel like that should be an upgrade. I've played multiple Call of Duty games where you can run while reloading, and it's not even funny. The next best thing is the fact that you can hold all 7 perks. You don't have to worry about no perkaholic type thing, no glitches. You can just get every single perk. They just simply allow you to. They do not limit you. It is limitless. Bottomless perks. That is exactly what I like to see. The next best thing is that you can triple pack weapons. With on the second pack, you be able to get a power up on your gun that allows them to brain rot the zombie, set off fireworks, or explode something. And it's absolutely amazing that they brought this back. Overall, I feel like Corrupt Zombies blows every single other Zombies game out of the water. I have not seen another Zombies game that has managed to top this one yet. Project Lazarus simply doesn't count thanks to the amount of stuff that it has that I would love to talk about here, but I don't have a PC, and that's simply unfortunate. And honestly, I was going to talk about it in this video, but it's not console related, and it does not allow me to play it. I was also going to review Zombie Survival and Zombie Uprising, but I see no reason to, as they're both just equally as boring as each other, and they both really don't know how to top each other in either way. For starters, Zombie Survival is kind of just a basic zombie survival game. Whenever you reach a certain round, it kind of goes into an intermission and you lose all your guns. But at this point, I'm just going to stop yapping. So, to put it simply, I hope y'all enjoyed watching this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. If y'all want me to review another Zombies game, just go ahead and type up in the comments what Zombies game I should do next on Roblox, if there is one. And as long as it's on console, as long as it's playable on console, I'll be able to hop on there and I'll be able to check it out for myself, see if it's good, see if anything's got going on for it, and then I'll just post it on my channel. Alright, thank you guys for stopping by.